Good evening, friends and fiends, and welcome back to Sunday Night NES. Tonight we are playing Ninja Gaiden 2. We have played the first one quite a bit on this stream. I have played the second one a couple of times, but I don't have nearly as much experience with it as I do the first one. So we're going to get into that tonight. I don't really have anything extra to show off to you guys. I've been to a couple yard sales and thrift stores and stuff lately. I just haven't found anything, any collectibles that are the kind of stuff that I'm interested in. If I'm a little tired, I woke up from a nap and I have not been able to get awake since then. I don't know why. That was like an hour and a half ago, but I have my coffee, so we'll see how it goes. We're going to go ahead and get into the game. Hello to Heathen and AV64 Dancer and Trial Fan, who are in the chat already. How are you guys doing? Dancer says, Wobble, what's up? Not a whole lot. How are you doing, Dancer? Oh yeah, I remember in this one they added the ability to actually climb the walls, which the first game, wherever you grab the wall, you're stuck there. For some reason in this one, it seems like a little bit harder to hit the little power-up collectibles. I don't really know why that is. I think they're just spaced differently. I really just jumped right into that shuriken. How's the audio and everything? Do I need to adjust sound any? Dancer says, feeling good, but rested a lot today. That's great. That's what you need to do. Heathen says, a little louder, please. All right, we'll see how that goes. I gotta figure out what to do there. I was trying to get my double to hit him, and I was spending way too much time focused on that and not enough on actually dodging him. Oh, normal shurikens bounce off of this guy. There we go. Furious George, hello, hello, welcome in. Who are these thugs? They told me you were good. Who's there? Go to the Tower of Laja if you want to save the girl. You mean... Yes, Irene. No time to lose. Hayabusa, move it out. But who are you? What the... I like how in the beginning of both games, there's sort of this sequence where you think that he's getting shot. Who are you? What the... Where'd he go? Come on, Hayabusa. You may be the only one who could beat them, but there's no chance unless you hurry. Dancer says, been messaging with the Florida bunch. They're going to raise pineapples, planting 200. That's a lot of pineapples. Pineapples are one of those things that, like, they take a long time to grow, and really don't get a lot for, you know, for the harvest. Which is kind of why pineapples are expensive. You can actually plant them here in southeast Alabama, but it's not the greatest environment for them. I got 2 buddies now. Pay attention to what I'm doing here so I don't get myself killed. Furious George says, and like bananas, you only get 1 pineapple per plant, and then you have to replant. Don't, I thought bananas came in, like, bunches. You mean, like, 1 harvest? Because I can see that. Oh, I remember this level. This is the one with the frickin' weather effects. Furious George says, yeah, you can only harvest once, then you have to cut the tree down. Okay. Heathen says, I hate the weather physics in this game. Yeah, they're a pain. They're not great. I really think this one is a little bit trickier than the first game. Just because of dumb sequences like that. Did you know that when pineapples were first released in Europe, like when they first brought them over, because they were so expensive, in Europe, you know, they had to create special greenhouses to even grow them. And because they were so expensive, rich people would buy them, and then they would rent them out to, like, middle-class people for their parties until they wanted to eat them. So you might have the pineapple that would go around to a couple different houses before it was actually eaten. And they would make their money off the rent. Ah! Rain got me, or the snow got me again. I don't know if I'm actually awake enough to play this tonight. Trying to get off of the thing. You have to have the snow going in the right direction, because if it's going straight down or if it's going away from you, it'll just knock you off the cliff. There we go. I thought I got that thing. There we go. Yay, we made it. We got a 1 up there. The weather in this one is just so hard. Furious George says, I beat the first game once, kind of got in the zone, but was never able to redo that feat. I've beaten the first one a couple of times. It's not easy. Mainly because in the first game, there's this whole sequence near the end where you have to beat like 3 bosses in a row, and if you fail on any of them, it sends you back like 3 levels, which is funny because it's actually not. That didn't actually. Oh Jesus. That didn't actually happen in the Japanese version. It was a localization issue, like a glitch. And the developers thought it was funny, so they kept it in. I don't think I've played the 3rd game yet. If I have, I've only maybe played it once or twice. Heathen says, yeah, beat the first one once and got to the final boss of the second. I may have gotten to level 2 on the 3rd game, but that one's impossible. Mustang says, I've always wondered if that was a bug or not, because it seems random. No message or anything, you just go back. Yeah, it was a bug, but it's one that the developers were aware of and decided to keep in because they're jerks. Hi, Dramatic Chipmunk. How are you doing? You are just in time to watch me die horribly in this game, because that's been happening a lot. No! Oh, jeez. Okay, I saved it. Let's see if I can continue to save it. All right, there we go. We're back up here. There we go. All right. Chipmunk says, I'm doing okay. How about you? I'm doing pretty well. No! The fact that they do this in the very second level of the game is just absolutely terrible. Oh gosh, there we go. Okay. Trying to dodge the bazooka where you have to jump and somehow at the same time not get thrown off the cliff is not great. All right. We made it to the ladder. I'm gonna pause for a second to catch up on chat. Chipmunk says, "Hey Trial, cats are doing great, thanks. I have Fifi eating her dinner next to me right now." Heathen says, "All right, it's already about my bedtime. Have a great evening, everyone." Thanks for hanging out with us, Heathen. Okay, this is... I remember this boss fight. This is not a great boss fight. This is the one where I really needed the other weapon, just because it makes it a lot easier. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Chipmunk says, "I have a 10:30 p.m. work meeting that I'm not jazzed about." That is terrible. Is that just because of time zones? Like, that is late. Unless you mean 10:30 a.m. Mustang says, "I like how the spiders just run away." Dude's been collecting spiders to throw at people. Chipmunk says, "I work with folks in India." Yeah. And now we're back at the beginning of the level again. I don't know, guys. My reaction time is not there for this game. I might have to swap over to something a little more chill. I'm just tired. I don't know why. I took a great nap, but I have not been able to get woke back up since. Yeah, we're going to swap over to something. I don't know. Let's, I don't know. We'll give it a couple more tries. Chipmunk says, "Don't punish yourself, play some Kirby." See, why did I do that? Alright, I want to at least get to the boss. I've beaten this boss before. Alright, do that. Good lord. You're constantly fighting against the controls in this level because of the wind. Like 5 points of damage there because of the stupid slimes. Mustang says, "Playing SMT1 and just got stun locked for 3 turns and died. Needed a break." That game was like the Ninja Gaiden of JRPGs, I swear. Yeah, it really is. I've only played that one for a little bit, and I didn't get very far in it because it's just so unfair. Stop respawning! How did I fall off there? I don't get it. Furious George says, I work with people in Hong Kong and I've never had a video meeting with them. Dancer says, George, is that like a 13, 14-hour difference to Hong Kong? Yeah. Chipmunk says, I can't complain too much. My Indian colleagues often stay late to talk to me in the morning. Turnabout is fair play. That's true. Mustang says, it's so weird. It's like the weather just stops your momentum totally. Yeah, well, that's, I think it's just a technical limitation with the NES. You can't, you know, at least in this game, they're not putting a lot of power into actual, like, simulated physics. Basically, what it is when the weather is pressing you in one direction, you get a speed multiplier. And when it's pressing you the other direction, your speed is like halved. So there's no give to it. Excuse me. Had the windows open for a little while earlier, and I think it has stirred up my allergies for a while. Pixel thought that was wonderful, though, and I kind of screwed up because we have a lot of little green lizards around, and Pixel loves to chase them in the windows. But today, I just wanted to air out the house a little bit. The weather was really nice, so I just opened all the windows. And we didn't get a lizard in. There were a couple windows that I left closed because they don't have screens on the outside. Well, a lizard started crawling across one of the windows that I had left closed. And Pixel realizes now that the windows can open. And so she was running back and forth, crying to me, trying to get me to open the window so she could get to the lizard. All right. Dang it. Oh. Mustang says, I miss little animals here in Texas. They were cute. Yeah, those are the kind of lizards that we have here. We actually have a couple different types of lizards because there's also like a little there's one with like a bright blue tail, and they tend to hide in the like in the leaves and stuff a lot more. I don't know what they're called, but all right, we got the one up. Alright, that's the one that I want. That's the power-up that I want. Alright, we're back to the boss. Oh, I'm out of power-ups. Dang it. I got him down to two health. Ah. My nose is itching like crazy. Let's see. Mustang says, yeah, that may be. I figured it was auto-scrolling of some sort, but that makes more sense. Yeah, it's simpler than auto-scrolling. It's, like I said, it's basically just like a speed multiplier. But it's a speed multiplier that applies even if you're in the air. And that's what's tricky about it. And it does have, like, some scrolling to it, but... And I totally just grabbed the wrong power-up. This boss is tricky enough without the wind. If I were a kid playing this, I probably would be, like, scouring Nintendo Powers to find, like, I don't know, like a Game Genie code or something to turn off the wind. Alright, let's get some hits done. We got one hit on him. Got a couple hits there. See, he won't jump down unless you come up here. If you just stand underneath him, he just stays up there. Okay. This is the one that we want. Problem is I don't have enough ninja power to use the ability that I just picked up. Got him. Woo! Chipmunk says, if I were a kid, I would have put in another game by now. But then I wouldn't beat the guy. The end of your life draws near, Ninja Dragon. Batchstar, the Emperor of Darkness. I must find Irene before it's too late. Oh crap, I remember this level. light flashing in and out doesn't help. The level design in this game is definitely a lot more involved than the first game. The first game is fairly linear as far as level design goes. I mean, you have a lot of tricky jumps and things like that, but for the most part, it's not, there aren't any, like, particular mechanics that you have to deal with in each level. Yeah, we are going to, we're going to swap over. Let's try out the third game, because I don't know if I've played the third one. I don't remember if I have or not. So this is Ninja Gaiden 3, The Ancient Ship of Doom. Chipmunk says, sorry guys, I gotta run. Take care all. Thanks for hanging out with us, Chipmunk. Whoa. Oh, they've added like a spin kind of thing to his jump, which makes it a little bit more floaty. And you can grab onto the bottom of pipes. That's cool. We're in like a oh, that's cool. That gave us an upgrade to our katana. Made it longer. Like an alien spaceship or something. Mustang says, one of my friends had the trilogy thing on Super NES. I remember liking this one the most for some reason, but I don't remember why. I remember that, the Super NES release that had all three of them. That was cool. Dodge that. Let's see. Mustang says, renting retro consoles that are HDMI modded with the game would be cool too, but again, I feel like people would just steal them. Yeah, they probably would. That would be really awesome, though. I wish that was something that you could do. I was looking at... there was a console I was actually thinking about getting, but I would have had to mod it. And the price that the guy was asking for it, plus the price of doing the adapters and stuff to mod it, just wasn't where I wanted to go for it. One of my friends had the trilogy thing. He doesn't even have it anymore. It's worth a lot of money, I think. Oh yeah, I'm sure it probably is. Mustang says only 30 on eBay. Retro games are weird, man. Some of them are like, sometimes they'll go for hundreds of dollars, and then other times you'll go and look at it and it won't be much at all. It just totally depends on the game. It depends on how many copies they released. All sorts of things. Also, the price of the original retros tends to go down if it's been re-released in some format. So like a lot of the games that were on Nintendo Switch Online, the prices actually kind of went down after they've been released there. Because there's just less demand for it. Unless you are like a hardcore retro enthusiast. Got it. Mustang says, I think that people that played the systems growing up would pay money for a weekend with the old systems. If you do that yourself, you're dumping like $200 into it after you get the console. Yeah, exactly. Which is kind of basically the reason that I haven't spent, I haven't got a lot of the old physical consoles. I would like to, but it's just, the price is just not worth it for me right now. Especially when I've got emulators on my computer and all that kind of stuff. There's other stuff that I want first. I would really like to get like a good handheld system before I go with that. So Mustang says, yeah, I used to have the X trilogy on Super NES as a kid. A loose copy of X3 is still like $350. Always wanted Tactics Ogre 2, but that's ungodly expensive. Yeah, that's a weird one though, because Tactics Ogre has been re-released, but the price is still high for it. For whatever reason, the prices on JRPGs and things like that seem to hold their value a lot more than platformers. I don't know, it's very weird. Like the whole used game market is all out of whack. The enemy designs in this one are so different than the other games. Because, like, for the most part in the other ones, you're fighting, you're fighting bats and falcons and soldiers. And then in this one, you're fighting, like, robots and aliens. Dang it. Gosh. You can get bogged down in the quicksand, but there's so many enemies that spawn right there. Mustang says, yeah, the one that always reminded me more of TMNT Foot Clan from the NES Turtle games. Yeah. Yeah, sticking with the boomerang shuriken was a good choice there. Ooh, I don't like the lighting effects in this one. Hopefully this level's not too long. Oh, hey. We have lava. Great. Okay, that sucked, because you jump and you can't actually see that the guy is there. I like the sword upgrade. I think that's probably my favorite upgrade in the game so far. Dang it. Hit the spikes up at the top. Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop that one. The flickering of the screen at the background, is not an effect that I could deal with, particularly with the lava and everything else going on in that level. So, I'm gonna tell you what, guys. It's early. It's only been about an hour, but I think I am going to I think I'm gonna call this one tonight. I am just having a tough time getting into the games, and the visual effects are kind of bothering me a little bit. So I'm going to probably grab something to eat. And then I think I'm going to hop into our Discord, and I might do an impromptu movie night. I'm not sure really what we're going to watch. So I've got a couple of things on here. Let me see what I got. We might watch I think we're going to do Creature from the Black Lagoon. That was one that I had picked up during our Halloween movie nights, and we never actually got a chance to fit it into the schedule. So I'm going to do that instead. So just because the visual effects are kind of getting to me a little bit, we're going to throw that up on the Discord, and we will do that for the rest of the evening. So if you want to join me, grab the Discord and give me about, let's call it about 30 minutes, and then we'll get started with Creature of the from the Black Lagoon in Discord. And I will see you guys later. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I'm sorry that gaming is not quite playing the way I want to, but that's the way it rolls with epilepsy sometimes. See you guys in a little bit in Discord for impromptu movie night. Bye bye.